the nephew of the Austro-Hungarian Emperor, Archduke Francis Ferdinand, is gunned down in public by a Serbian nationalist, and the whole world sends flowers to his family, says that really sucks, and goes about its business, because we are not absolutely insane. Oh wait, we are absolutely insane, and this assassination leads to the explosion of the First World War. How can that possibly be? Surely an assassination of a political heir is a terrible thing. It needs to be addressed. You saw what happened when the president of Haiti was assassinated, but when the president of Haiti was assassinated, the whole world didn't go to war. How does this lead to World War I? Well, it's about bochinche. Bochinche, one of my all-time favorite words. If you missed it last time I introduced that term, I'm led to understand that that is Puerto Rican slang for gossip. So, it's a typical day in a typical high school, and she's talking trash about somebody, and somebody else is talking about somebody else, and you're talking about me, and hey, did you hear what he said about this? Did you hear what she said about him? And before you know it, in these waves of bochinche, well, it's hard to keep track of who your friends are, and which of your friends have been doing the bochinche, and which of your friends have been having the bochinche done about them, and who do you stand by? And before you know it, you find yourself, I'm not talking to you, we're not friends anymore, with a dozen different people. You find yourself sending text messages, we're not friends anymore, to people you've never even met, just to be safe. And that's what Europe was like at this time. With so many alliances and treaties, well, we agree to defend you if you're attacked by this guy, or this guy, and you'd agree to defend us if we're attacked by this guy, but not that guy. And you attacked him, but I'm in treaty to support both you, and what do I do? I wouldn't necessarily suggest writing this on your EOC, but the cause of World War I was basically bochinche. Problem is with a world war at this time, there is now technology available that is capable of causing destruction like the world had never seen. New artillery, tanks, airplanes, machine guns, barbed wire, poison gas, especially brutal, and we'll focus on that in one of the upcoming videos. And what ends up happening is, year after year, unconscionable misery and human suffering, yet very little ground gained by anyone on any side. So it almost turns into we're killing just for the sake of killing. By the end of the war, the total military death toll was 10 million people. The world had never seen anything like that. Look, warfare has always been brutal, but Romans with swords in their hands, as fierce as they are, or Vikings, they can't kill 10 million people. But 10 million military deaths, another million civilian deaths due to direct military action, and another 6 million civilian deaths caused by famine, disease, and the other things that happen when all the infrastructure of your civilization is on the verge of collapse because it's all been devoted to destruction. one of the most important new pieces of technology was the German U-boat, a submarine capable of traveling long distances and being nearly undetected, and more important, very difficult to defend oneself against. And one of these U-boats targets an allegedly civilian passenger ship, the British ship, the RMS Lusitania, which is traveling from New York to Liverpool here in 1915. The Germans say, look, this boat is carrying weapons. Great Britain and Germany are on opposite sides in the war. Germany says, hey, it's fair game. It's fair game. And everyone's like, no, because it's full of people and full of civilians. Germans like, hey, if you don't want to get blown up, don't be on the boat. And they do attack the Lusitania, which results in 1,200 civilians, including 28 Americans. So as all this is going on, our good friend President Wilson is still committed to, hey, sorry, that's bad luck for yous over there, but is still committed to keeping the United States out of this war. Public opinion really turns against that though, and starts moving full speed ahead in favor of war after the sinking of the Lusitania, with all those civilians killed, and the fact that, and look, so we just said that there were 1 million civilians killed by direct military action over the war, but these are civilians killed on the way home from New York. So first of all, the ship is leaving New York, and there are 28 Americans on the ship, which makes it harder and harder for Wilson to maintain his isolationism, though he will continue to try to do so throughout his next presidential campaign. The next 4 videos in the playlist will give you more detail on what we've talked about. We'll look up close at the causes of the First World War. Yes, the straw that broke the camel's back was the assassination of the Archduke, but seriously, the world doesn't go to war over something like that. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1993. It didn't start World War III, you know. In the second video to follow, we'll take a look at the bochinche, at the geopolitical equivalent to teenage gossip. I'm friends with you, and I'm not friends with you anymore, and he's friends with him, and I hate you both, and what am I supposed to do? That led the world to explode. The third video to follow will look at the horrors of chemical warfare in World War I, followed by an up-close profile of the sinking of the Lusitania. And then we'll take a look at what was going on in the United States before we joined World War I. Spoiler, that's where the lesson is going. But we'll look at public opinion before we join the war, and all of our efforts to stay out of the war. So keep watching for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos that follow this here in the playlist.